How's it going? I'm Bonnie Violet. I'm a trans femme genderqueer spiritual drag artist and digital chaplain. You found yourself on the Trans Joy Boise podcast. The podcast where we celebrate the vibrant stories, resilience, and connection for Boise's trans community through heartfelt conversations, uplifting narratives, and shared experiences. We explore the many ways trans joy thrives despite challenges.
Each episode highlights inspiring voices from local advocates and artists to everyday heroes, showcasing the beauty and strength of being trans in Boise and beyond. Together, we foster understanding, amplify voices, and create a space for joy, healing, and solidarity.
Tune in, connect, and celebrate with us. Trans Joy is here, and it's unstoppable.
You're so much better suited for that than me.
I know you think it's cheesy.
No, I don't.
Yeah. So welcome to the podcast, everyone.
Yeah, I'm Pacey. I'm trans-masked, non-binary, and a mental health and recovery advocate.
Awesome. And somebody who's struggling with a sinus infection.
Yes.
Oh, did I spill your tea?
Yeah. Yeah, I have chronic sinusitis from drug use. And whenever there's even just, if someone's using a leaf blower in the streets, I will get a sinus infection.
Oh.
So it's just,
beware of the leaf blower.
Yeah. Anytime there's anything in the air, my body just revolts. So
yeah,
it's a good time.
Awesome. We wanted to start off today's episode with just acknowledging you all. We don't always I think in making the podcast as long as we have, and we do have a YouTube channel, there's those things that we need to say. We need to say, make a comment, subscribe, follow, share with your friends. Those sorts of things are all really important. If you rank us on a podcast, you can rank us, and again, that's just going to help with the algorithm so that more people can see what it is that we're doing if you like what we're doing. We did want to take a second to kind of acknowledge, Sarah from TikTok said, I don't listen to podcasts, but I'm glad I found you here. We also had a comment on TikTok as well that said, I will always say allyship is a practice, not a performance. Realize, stand with us, and fight with us, which I thought was a really great response to a lot of the things that you've said in particular.
Definitely.
Another person on TikTok, Olivia, said, what if I'm in the community and just tired of fighting? After fighting for everyone's rights, I just want to be able to be low view with my partner and be safe for the next 4. And we said, then do that, love. Do what you need to do for you. Thank you for your service, for fighting for the community, and rest. And there are others that are in a better place in time in which they're going to be able to stand up and they're going to have the energy. So just live your life in love, and we're all in this together, and we're all going to show up in our own ways. And thank you again for the work that you did up until now. Enjoy it.
And I think that's really common right now. I know that even people in my circle are feeling really exhausted with everything that's going on, and it's you're kind of stuck between wanting to fight but also being irritated because it shouldn't be your responsibility.
Yeah.
You just want to exist and live your life. You shouldn't have to be on the front lines of whatever's going on all the time, just constantly bombarded with this terrible news every day. And I think it's really important to set boundaries for yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't do us any good to fight if we're not living. And so it's we got to make time for that. And some of us are going to do our fighting all at once and let go of some of the rest, and some of us are going to be a little bit better at piecemealing it, or whatever. But definitely important. And then one of the things that's been really common too is Natalie said, please stay safe in Boise. I worry about you all. And so we do get a lot of people commenting from other parts of not in Boise who are saying they're concerned for us, or they moved away. They're happy to see that something like this is happening here, and I don't know about you, but I've gotten a lot of text messages and calls this week from people in New York or California or other places, and they're like, hey girl, it's been a rough week, so sorry, we're gonna get through this. And I'm yeah. And I've been living in Idaho for 2 years, so Trump's America is already in Idaho to some degree, you know what I mean?
It's been here for a minute.
Yeah. So I think at least for me, it doesn't feel like that much of a shock overall. We also have had a lot of not as great comments as well too, and I'm not going to share any of those, but I do want to say that those sorts of comments, it's helpful for us to hear other comments. So I would want to just really encourage you, one, to comment. It's good for us, like to be able to read a good comment or just know that people are actually listening to us and care about what we have to say. And then also what it does is it does help kind of build the algorithm so that more people will be able to come across what it is that we're doing. We have like one YouTube video where obviously there are some comments, and that one has hundreds more views than some of our other ones. So folks who listen regularly, like just comment and say something. We'll say something back, and again, it just kind of helps with the algorithm.
Totally. Yeah.
Which always feels weird talking about that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I never want to say it because I feel like it feels almost gimmicky, like, please.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, I don't know, it's just part of like, it's just kind of how the system works. Like, and even like on Spotify, we've gotten comments on our Spotify, so feel free to comment there if that's where you're listening. And again, be sure to rate us wherever you listen to podcasts, because that does help with the algorithm there.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
It absolutely does. I just know whenever I'm watching someone or like I'm watching a YouTube video,
I know,
and they go into that whole spiel of like, comment, subscribe, like I'll push the 15-second forward to just get past it.
Yeah, and if you did that, that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
But I know sometimes for me, I won't think about it, and then when they say it, then I'll go ahead and subscribe or follow, because I just don't think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I think just because it is so much newer too, I think those little things are just that much more important.
I think so, yeah, and I think that a lot of the resources that we know online might be becoming a little bit more difficult to find. I know some of the government resources have been taken down, like the reproductive rights, so I feel like building the resources that we have is probably in our best interest.
Yeah, and I think a lot of what's happening, like politically and just in general, like, social media is like the place where people are learning, fighting, getting love and support and all those sorts of things. And we're noticing that, like, at least for me, like TikTok and YouTube seems to be a good place for us right now, but it does seem like Facebook, Instagram, we're not getting as much like views and interaction and stuff. So I'm thinking that maybe we're getting like shadow banned a little bit on those, because we're just not getting the same sort of like engagement that we were even getting just a few weeks ago,
I think that everyone right now is a little critical of Meta just because of everything that Zuckerberg just seems like he's losing it.
Yeah.
One of his lawyers actually stopped, working for him because he said ethically he couldn't, because he's witnessed his descent into toxic masculinity, which is so weird. It just, but
it went from like one extreme to the next extreme.
A lot of them did that. Yeah. Like even Elon did that.
Mm-hmm. And it's important for us to say that we're going to stay on these apps and stay in this, like, we're going to try to be a soft place to land and hopefully a good connection point in these spaces. But, like, again, manage your consumption, go where you can go to get support. Don't let yourself get, like, beat up too much by watching the same crap over and over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know, like, my partner just is so upset with all of this bullshit that's happening, and I keep telling them, like, take a step back, maybe take a break from social media, because it's always going to be there. Like, you can put your phone down for however long, and when you come back, you're still going to be able to see whatever nonsense is happening, but you got to take care of you first. You can't pour from an empty cup. And if you're completely depleted and angry and just overwhelmed, like, it's not going to do anyone any good.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the biggest thing is, at the end of the day, just like get your head out of the phone, get your head out of the screens, like spend some time with your loved ones, make a meal together, go for a walk, like read a book.
Absolutely.
I've been reading a book right now, which is crazy. Yeah. I do not read books. Like, I've always been a little envious, because I feel like if it was something I would have got done when I was younger, that I would just love it now. But I have a hard time with like keeping my attention and stuff. But I have been reading this book, Finding Eve, which is about the Devitt's who raised a trans daughter here in Boise. And so it's been really interesting just to, I think that probably is what's kind of keeping me reading it a little bit, because it feels so close to home. Totally. But it's a really great book. so far, and we're gonna be collaborating with them in the future.
Yeah,
but,
that's gonna be really fun.
yeah.
I think that helps, and I think it's kind of like a muscle. You know, you kind of just have to get used to it and find time for it, and then eventually, I feel like you're gonna really enjoy it again.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, it's been great. I'm surprised how much time that like I can put toward it, and I'll get to where I start reading, and an hour later, and I'm just like, oh shoot, I've been reading.
Yeah, I love reading. Unfortunately, the only book I've been able to read lately is the LSAT prep book, which is riveting. I'm sure you all know.
Yeah, how's that going?
It's interesting.
Yeah,
it's unlike anything I've ever prepared for. Like in my field, like psychology, you have to take the GRE, or for some schools, it's required to take the GRE, and that's an objective psychology test. You study psychology. This test is not on laws or anything, it's on logic and reasoning. So it's almost like studying to answer a bunch of almost word problems. So it's something else.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Angle.
I've been enjoying it though.
Yeah.
But it's
It seems like you would get into it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think with the conversations that we've had, and it seems like you'd be all into that stuff.
It's yeah. So I can't complain too much.
When do you do that test? Or
April.
Wow, that's like right around the corner.
I wanted to take it next month, but I missed the deadline.
You're like, I'm going to be a lawyer, and like 2 months later, you're like, I'm going to take the test.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always considered it. And I would tell people, like, if life were longer, I would also go to law school, because I was going to get my PhD in psychology and do forensic psych. But this just kind of pushed me over. I was always kind of like, one or the other would be all right. But I was leaning towards psych, but now with everything going on now, it's like, this takes precedent.
Yeah. What is your, like, hope for, or like, what would be your dream gig or your dream thing to do with your law degree once you get it?
I would love to work for an organization like the ACLU, or, you know, maybe do some advocacy with the ACLU. I'd like to do pro bono work as much as I can, but I would also like to do some psychology stuff, like maybe assessments, things like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, a lot can change in 4 years, but that all sounds really exciting. Is it 4 years? Why did I say 4 years of school? I guess
it's 3. Yeah.
3. Okay.
Yeah. Because earlier today I was like,
you could be a lawyer by the time Trump is still in office. Dang.
Yeah.
Maybe you could take him to court.
Yeah. Right. Who hasn't at this point?
I know, right? Ugh, it's so crazy.
Yeah. So just everything, his bullshit is bleeding into everything. So even as far as like Meta is concerned, there's everything that happened with TikTok, which happened just last week. And I know everyone was really upset that they were going to get rid of it, and it was shut down for all of 12 hours.
It wasn't very long at all.
Yeah, like we went to bed not being able to access it, and then I woke up the next day and there was a local performer who had posted like TikTok's back, and I was like, what? Okay. So I looked and it was, but it feels different now. And I've read a lot of speculation that people are worried that like Zuckerberg and Musk are involved in it somehow, and they're trying to create like a state-run media with it, because I don't think it's still like this, but in the first day or so you could search Democrat and like nothing would show up, but you could search all of the Republican shit and it would show up. Yeah. So I think a lot of people are taking a step away from a lot of these social media platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people are saying I'm leaving Facebook. I haven't seen too many people say they're leaving Instagram, but obviously TikTok, it seemed like everyone was just getting booted, you know. But yeah, but I don't know. I think, I mean, it seems almost, I don't know. I think everyone has to make that decision for themselves and what they feel comfortable with, and I think it's just a good place to, like, make a point in a statement than not. You know, I don't think it necessarily is a negative statement if you do stay on those platforms.
No, and I think, you know, us staying on them, I think that there are going to be a lot of people that stay on those platforms, and I'd like to be the source of comfort on there, but
Well, I think it's even more important that people like us remain in those places because they're going to become, especially the metas, they're going to become more hostile environments. It's like, they talk about like how like Instagram and like these social medias were like just great spaces for trans and non-binary and other marginalized folks already. No, it wasn't, like it was already fairly hostile.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't even imagine it getting back.
Oh, yeah.
Even though we have dealt with that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think if they removed those protections, so like being able to say certain words, I personally, dealing with like angry cis men, I feel like the only thing that makes them more upset than telling them like that they're being hysterical is by calling them the F slur. So I will be weaponizing it in that sense.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I guess it's one way to take the power of the word back.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one thing that brings me a little bit of joy.
My favorite emoji is the yawn emoji. Yeah. If anybody's been on our Trans Joy accounts, they'll see the yawn emoji a lot because people are just saying the same crap we've heard all the time. Calling me a dude, or saying we're mentally ill, or why is this in my algorithm? Well, I think that's more about you than it is about me, bud. But all that sort of crap. But whatever.
Yeah. I've seen some people say that they're leaving Facebook and like to go find them on Instagram, and I find that sort of funny because it's still Meta.
Yeah.
Like Meta owns it consists of Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and WhatsApp. So that doesn't quite make sense. So the protections that were removed on Facebook were also removed on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, and that is a huge amount of the social media platforms that we use. So it feels like we are having fewer and fewer places to go.
Yeah. Well, and there's a good chance though that I think these places could become a lot like X. Or the app formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah.
Like it got to be where like, okay, great, let's do it your way, Elon Musk. And nobody wants to be on there anymore. Like brands are leaving, people are leaving. Like it's just not even cute in like any way. And so I just think if Facebook decides to do that and Instagram, they're gonna end up the same.
Oh yeah. I know on Reddit, because I spend way too much time on Reddit, all of the subreddits are banning any Twitter related content or links or anything at all.
Oh wow.
Which I think is really cool because it's just Reddit, but I think it's at least taking a little bit of a stance. I'm sure there's some subreddits that are like the conservative subreddit, but it's nice to
Conservatives? Reddit?
Yeah, they have a conservative subreddit. I'm banned.
I've never really done Reddit. I think I've been on there once or twice, but I didn't see too many. I didn't think there would be too many conservatives.
It's usually not, but there are a couple like subreddits, like little groups that are just for them, and they're just a nightmare. But a lot of them are kind of coming around, just being like, "Well, we feel lied to." Like, well, we told you.
Right.
So
yeah. So what are we gonna do about this thing? Do you think?
Well,
or what are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
Do we have something?
Yes, we have some exciting news, and we were just talking about it earlier. We just had a meeting immediately before filming this, and we are going to be setting up a community for like online for everyone to be able to access and talk to each other, watch videos, everything.
Yeah. So to just be like an app, right? Like I'm like we're still developing it, so it's like I'm like, what do we say, what don't we say? But we're working on creating this app that you could just download, the TJB or Trans Joy Boise app on your phone, and then you can get into it, and basically all the things you would do on social media you could do there. We could chat. We could have like kind of like the Reddit groups where people, what are those called?
The subreddits,
the channels or whatever, where people can talk about different things. We can post about events. And it'll be like a safe place where obviously people won't be getting harassed or any of those sorts of things that we would deal with.
Oh yeah, we'll have moderators for it. It's similar to Discord, but beyond a little. It's really cool. I think we're going to be able to have a little bit of everything on there. We'll be able to bring on other groups in the community where they can have their own channels and have whatever they want on there as well. I think that it's going to be really positive for our community just because, you know, it's going to be trans-led, and it's going to be a community full of like-minded people that are experiencing all of this together and supporting each other.
Yeah, definitely. And so if you are listening or watching us, please do put in the comments or messages somehow if you'd be interested in joining a community like this. We are starting to collect a list of folks who are interested so that as soon as the app goes live, we can have you be the first ones in on it. So just put a comment in the thing wherever you're seeing us right now, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, whatever. And we'll get you on the list.
I think it's going to be really cool. I think that, you know, we'll be able to interact with everyone on a much more personal level. We'll be able to talk about current events because there's so much going on at any given time, so much more than we can, you know, talk about on this podcast. And we want to be able to have, you know, resources, all sorts of things on it. So I think it's going to be really amazing. Yeah, I'm really excited for it.
I agree. At first I was thinking like, oh no, another app, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's going to be really great to have like a space that the community can work to make it on. And I'm excited to also connect with other organizations and people that are doing things as well through that too. So it's going to be kind of in a lot of ways, like kind of like the cafe that we're doing a Saturday and on a monthly basis, but kind of something you can access all the time.
Yeah, exactly. You know, maybe we could get people from the community that want to, you know, because we were talking about having these trans-led events. You know, I don't think there'd be any difference in them having a channel for their event, you know. So
there's no reason why, like the yoga group or
the yoga group,
whatever. Yeah, definitely.
So if you want to do something like that, again, reach out or post in the comments, because I think we have an opportunity to really create a lot of trans-led groups. And
all just know, through this, or it also can be something you can access like on a computer or something too, right?
Yeah, totally. So I think it's gonna be cool. I'm excited for it.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
It's just been so much lately. I know a lot of people are tired. I'm tired. And one thing that has always kind of helped was being able to get together with other trans people. You know.
Yeah, so we're hopefully we'll see folks this weekend. It's our first Trans Joy Boise Cafe on the 25th. If you're coming across this, it'll be the 25th of January, but we also have a couple happening in February and March on the 22nd. We're also working on starting a weekly meeting. I think it'll be a Thursday night from around 5 to 7, location to be announced, but also if you're interested, comment and we'll get you the information. But we just want to have a weekly like social support drop-in space where we can just come and hang out. No agenda, no whatever. We're just like hang out, have some coffee, snacks, whatever, and just shoot the shit.
Yeah, just be able to talk.
Shoot the shit.
Shoot the shit. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'll be really cool. Because I know it's difficult to talk to people that aren't having a similar experience. And it's so common to have people tell you that you're overreacting. And it's like, well, do you watch the fucking news? How could you think that I'm overreacting right now? This is like but that's just in and of itself another problem to have to go through.
Yeah, and it's just feeling like even more and more like you can't trust what you see or hear or watch anymore online with AI, and then not having all this sort of crap. I don't know. Maybe it's not a bad thing to be a little bit more willing to just go with whatever you read or watch on the socials. But yikes, where else are we going to be getting good information? I don't know.
Exactly. I saw even Google. Oh God, did you see that? Where when you look up like the U.S. presidents, it went from Obama to Trump twice in a row. Like it wasn't even showing Biden.
Oh, really?
On Google,
Wow, that's wild. Well, see, I was seeing some of that stuff where, though, I did see this lady where she was, like, talking to her Alexa, and she's like, Alexa, oops, I hope my Alexa doesn't talk, but goes, Alexa, like, what did Abraham Lincoln do in his presidency? I have no answer for that, or something like that. And then would ask about George Bush and Barack Obama, and then said, and what about Donald Trump? You know, what has he contributed? And then it was like, Donald Trump was the 45th president, blah, 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 blah. And so then I was like, well, that's crazy. But then I went to my Alexa, and she worked just fine. She told me about Bush and Lincoln and Trump and all that sort of stuff. So I think, I don't know, some of it I think we have to investigate for ourselves a little bit. Because who knows I mean, there's just, you can manipulate so much when it comes to audio, visual kind of things. Why people are doing that, I don't know. But
yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of goes in line with what he wants to do. Some of the things. Like I saw a pretty comprehensive list of all of the words that are now banned from like universities, and it's because he got rid of the DEI programs. So it's like anything that you could use to describe like a marginalized person is banned. And I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of that kind of thing with, you know, critical race theory.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to teach any of that. So I think there are going to be certain things that you can ask, whatever, depending on how far this goes, where it's just that's information that they don't want people to have anymore.
Yeah.
And I saw someone on Reddit say it's a good idea to maybe go out and buy some old textbooks, like some old history textbooks, to just keep, because the new ones that are going to start coming out are going to have a lot of information missing from them. Yeah, it's so gross.
Weird.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It feels so weird. And like, you know, like I know like we're Trans Joy Boise and we kind of center around the trans and non-binary stuff, but they're just, I know like a lot of immigrants are scared and petrified.
Of course.
Trans or non-binary or not, you know, like there's just so many like people that are really fearful right now. I know a lot of the refugee communities. I know people who've been concerned about their adoptions and their marriages, and it's just a lot of potential crises for a lot of people right now.
Yeah, it's just shocking how little regard certain people have for everyone else. You know, like turning in coworkers or friends who aren't here legally, like that's appalling to me.
Yeah.
And people are learning how to yell like "Run, ICE is here." I think that's super cool. It's just
whatever community that or communities that you're a part of, like really, I mean, I think it's a time to be mindful and to be alert. Not be like too hysterical about it, but like
just be informed and be prepared.
So much to learn.
I think that he said that he would start implementing these things on day one, and he did, but he's not slowing down. Every day is something else that you're just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what next? And then the next day it's something just as awful. So it's like, how do you cope with that? It's really hard to, in a healthy way.
I've just been ignoring it mostly. Which also feels a little off.
But I mean, you have to do what you have to do. You know, like I was saying with my partner, you gotta have time to yourself, because you can't help the situation, you can't help other people if you're sick. You know?
I've just been trying to do what I can to put more like content and things out to hopefully help people through all of that, or to like a little palate cleanser
And
in between things. I don't know
that's really important,
yeah,
because everyone needs a palate cleanser right now. It's just with the whole Nazi bullshit. One trick that I will share with everyone that I've been using, because right now you see everyone trying to defend Elon Musk by saying like, oh, that was a Roman salute, or he was giving his heart to the audience, which is fucking utter bullshit. But when people are saying that, I tell them like, well, do it then. Do the Roman salute. If it's no big deal, if it's truly no big deal, do it. And if it's on social media, but post a video of you doing the Roman salute. If it's truly no big deal, do it. And they never do, because it is a big deal, and they know, true, like in their hearts, they know it was a fucking Nazi salute. They're just being trolls. So, but I mean, that's one of the ways that I deal with it, I guess.
A little trolling back, or calling them on their crap. Stand up, fight back. That's what they did. fight AIDS. No, I was thinking, what is that? What group is that? ACT UP. Yeah,
ACT
ACT
UP.
UP. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that a lot of these Republican, right-leaning people just assume that we are going to be just these easy targets, and we'll just be like, "Oh, stop." It's like, no, fuck you.
Right.
I will be an asshole back,
Mm,
and we're queer. We're funnier than you,
right.
So we'll make
We're funnier and we'll look better doing it.
exactly. So it's just we're in the upside down right now. And I think maybe that's part of why I got sick, because I have autoimmune diseases,
Mm-hmm.
and when I get like overwhelmed, I get sick.
Yeah,
So
that's real. Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah, well, I think that's going to be the end of our episode for today. I'm feeling a little off today, like not quite in my whoa, but whatever, like that's what we do. We come on here, we say what we need to say, and
it's heavy news lately.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And we have, the cafe coming up.
Yeah, Saturday.
Tomorrow. Well,
yeah, it's depending on when you watch it.
Yeah, depending on when you watch
Saturday
this.
the 25th.
If you're listening to this Saturday, if you're watching this tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have people to help with name changes. We'll have some food and snackage. We'll also have opportunities to break off in smaller groups if you need to talk with someone about anything specific. But for the most part, we just want to get together and have a good time. Just love on one another.
Yeah, exactly.
Consensually,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
It'll be good. It'll be the palate cleanser that we all need, I think. So things are feeling heavy. They're feeling rough right now. So just come be with community with us, because we're looking forward to seeing you.
Yes. All right. Take care. We'll see you in the next episode, or hear you, whatever. All right. Bye.
All right, bye.
I forgot to start the recording.